Hi, I'm Greg Sharp. And I love arm wrestling. That's right. What a corny ass intro. Yes, another episode of Inside Arm Wrestling. Hey, you can't blame me for trying to be theatric, especially knowing that we're doing so many reality series out there. You know, I'm just working on my delivery because you never know when that big series is going to come and pick me up. So, Inside Arm Wrestling is back again, another episode here in the world of arm wrestling. I'm going to take off and support one of my good friends and soon to be co-worker here with Inside Arm Wrestling and World Series of Arm Wrestling, Sarah Backman. Folks, other than this great t-shirt, I'm not quite sure if the lav is shown or not, but we'll go away from it. I'm going to actually kind of stand here. Last time I did this, I got a little bit tired as I was talking. Maybe did a little bit of stuttering and such. So we want to get away from that. And what a great day! Here at the end of a month, an exciting month, World Series of Arm Wrestling is now kicking it into high gear. Our first event, June 28th, is going to be in Riverside here in California. We're already ramping up for that. Conversations in the works with more sponsors, with locations. This is going to be our best California qualifier ever. We've got some exciting news to be able to give to you here as we start today's Inside Arm Wrestling podcast, or what I'll call, TV newscast. As you can watch this on Free Live Sports, look for our Inside the Arm Wrestling channel on Free Live Sports. Make sure you don't watch me put the foot down wrong and catapult off. That'll be on the YouTube bloopers because that'll really get us paid. But we're super excited. So June 28th, starting off in Riverside. Then we head out to our friends at Wetzel's Riot Room in Texas, Dallas, Texas. As I flip down, I believe is July 12th. You would have thought that the owner of the company would have this memorized, but you know what? It's only a matter of time until I do. July 19th, we're heading out to Florida, where we're going to be working with Sarah Backman and her husband, Mike Olivia, out there. Pretty psyched for that new location. We are trying to come up with where that venue is going to be. Then I'll be very psyched. That way I can announce where we're going to be at. On the 26th of July, we find ourselves back at Jacksonville with my good friend Alan Bose at his CrossFit location next to Camp Lejeune, again going after a big Southern regional and to be able to support the troops doing a seminar out there. Then we find ourselves again, Bally's Casino. Greg, get your head out of the 90s. I actually owned Bally Total Fitness back in the 90s as a franchisee. Bally Casino in Atlantic City. We're at the Yard, followed by Bally's Kansas City. We're there at Chickies and Pete's. Finally, we're at the FOE Eagles once again in Salt Lake City / Ogden, Utah for our last regional, bringing us back to Harley-Davidson, San Diego, November 1st. And folks, we are looking at our biggest prize money out this year, as well as our biggest awards. We think that we're going to top and eclipse, I'd like to think we'll be well over 150,000. We're about 130,000 right now, and still growing. We will, once we get done the month of February, put actually out our cash prizes. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about that, but we will be looking to get that out at the end of February once I have all the sponsor money in, and that way I could show and actually dictate to you where that's going, how that's going, and where the payoff's going to be. Still top 1 through 8 payoffs, still overalls, all the same factors that we've had in the past, just more money. Speaking of which, as you probably have seen, STEM Regen has been a partner of us. We became an affiliate with them, and we're going to start pressing more and more with STEM Regen. STEM Regen is a stem cell regeneration using natural components to reheal your body. Great product. We are super excited with them. They just gave us a bunch of videos that we're going to start releasing, bringing some more information to you. It's an excellent opportunity for you to get involved as affiliates. Guys, I can't tell you how important these relationships are for you. We're going to roll out a bunch of different ones, including another major sponsor, as well as a pharmaceutical grade peptide relationship here in the next month. So STEM Regen, get with the old videos, get to our website, get signed up as an affiliate. It's the way for you to make your abilities to earn some money on social media, as well as, hey, it might be a way for you to have a couple extra dollars to do a couple more events. All good things for you in the world of arm wrestling. We're really proud to announce that we are moving into the 2025 season with a new sponsor in Bucked Up. Bucked Up supplements out of Utah. Yes, I want to say Utah. That is correct. I was going to say Oregon, but Ryan and his team is out of Utah. Had to think about that. We will be unveiling that relationship as well as our affiliate program with them. Great opportunity for you as athletes, again, to become sponsored athletes. So between STEM Regen and, of course, with Bucked Up, these are all opportunities for you as the athlete to get better product, cost-effective product, and make some money being sponsored by these entities. So make sure you're climbing into the DMs on all of our social medias. Get the information that you need to get signed up, because ultimately that's going to really create some value to you in terms of financial ability to maybe do some more events this year and to obviously get paid for being the athletes that you are. Lastly, we are going to create a peptide relationship that is coming very soon. It will be a WSA peptide brand that we're going to bring to the table, and that will give national distribution. We'll be able to ship you your peptides directly at a discounted rate with pharmaceutical quality peptides. We are so close right now to being able to release that. I just want to give you an understanding. This is coming out faster than you may know, and peptides are really a great way for you to support longevity, heal the body, enhance your body athletically with that healing power. Peptides are a way for you really to get into the competitive shape that you want, as well as help that quality of life. Those are big relationships for us here at World Series of Arm Wrestling. So having said all that, I've gotten a few phone calls and certainly several dialogues over the 2025 season. We are really in a point, guys, where for the first time in our organization, and this may sound like a weird statement, but we're basically coming to that, that flat line, meaning that our financial output and our revenue input are coming together. And we've created a couple of relationships now for the for season 4 and beyond that have stabilized us, that I could confidently say right now, we will be around for at least another 5 years of growth until we are at a very high point in our existence. We just took on a relationship that I can't release right now, but has stabilized us for another 5 seasons into season 9 on sponsor money and production. World Series of Arm Wrestling is not going anywhere. We're growing. Our numbers are showing it's growing. We are on the upward trend, as always. The biggest tournament arm wrestling series in the world. We are streaming on national platforms. We have the first ever gaming and parimutuel betting site ready to go for our season 4. BetsMarket is 100% in a go. I just can't tell you how many great relationships that we are in season 4. It's astronomical in some aspects to think that we've made some really consistent progress to get us to the point where I really feel that $500,000 in prize money and awards, or even 7 figures at some point, is really around the corner. And that's exciting for me. The more that I can do to help the sport, to grow the sport, to advance the sport, I think the bigger the opportunities become. And I can tell you, we have some network relationships that are about to be announced here in the next 60 days that I think are going to knock your socks off as well. Hard to believe that it's bigger than Free Live Sports. Hard to believe that it's bigger than Tubies and Fox and where we're at right now, but they are coming. And I can tell you that once the ink dries on the agreements, we're going to make those announcements, and I'm super excited about that. I want to talk to you a little bit about Inside Arm Wrestling. We're ready to launch. Matter of fact, we had some major conversations with them today, getting them some promos and drops and marketing pieces. We are super excited to bring in Hollywood Matt Connolly. He has given us his downloads. Anthony, about how many downloads has he sent over to us? Dozens? Dozens and dozens of content material. I'm also very close to getting Trey Johnson on board with Flash Pin. We're super happy about that relationship. Just really the only reason that stalled at this point, it's not really stalled, was I was shooting a reality show in Nashville. I'm back. Trey, I promise you, by the time you watch this segment, you'll already have your agreement in hand. We're super excited there. We're working with other content providers to be able to bring them to the channel. And I'll be honest with you, we'll probably get to the point where we're going to have more than one Inside Arm Wrestling channel. Much like ESPN had done over the years, started with one and grown. I see Inside Arm Wrestling getting to that level very, very quickly. Now, where are we in terms of the house? There are going to be some announcements on the house coming this week. We've had a few different small, what's the word I want to say? Directional changes. Certainly there's been some life situations that have changed the trajectory of who we felt was part of the show, and we're making changes on the fly for that. So we're adjusting it. We're adjusting the schedule, we're adjusting the components of the show. It's not going anywhere, folks. By the time you see this, we'll probably be releasing a new announcement on the house. But unfortunately, life happens. People's schedules get conflicted. Life gets in its way. Two of the locations that we originally were committed to working with in April were in the Malibu area. They are no longer there. Ultimately, with anything that we do in terms of an operation, we want to do our very best. Now, our very best may be good to some, may be really good to others, and may be outstanding. Where you qualify our end results has nothing to do with where we qualify what we want to put into our productions. And what that really means is that if I feel as if we're not going to give it everything that we need to give it, then we're going to make some adjustments. And we're at that point. Listen, as we roll out some of what's happened and gone past, and many of you have known, those of you who are in the industry, we're going to make those changes subtly, and then we're going to come back with an even bigger game plan. But the house has not gone away. We are going through some modifications right now. I wish that we didn't have the fires and a few other things that have gone on, but when we're in a thing called life, and when you're in life, ultimately stuff happens. And how you adjust to it and make it better makes you the person that you hope to be in terms of the professional. And I think we've shown that. So the house is still on. I know a couple questions because of the fires and such has come around. Look for some updated information on captains and content and that sort of thing coming here in the next 2 weeks. So East versus West. Let's see if we go back to the card. Obviously, we've got Todd Hutchings coming back on that card. We've got Hermes. We've got Gennady. We've got Rockley. You've got Michael. You've got Devin. You've got Todd Hutchins. It's a really good card. Let me tell you something. And before I even get there, I love the jerseys that they do. Listen, I am the first person out there that will tell you that I'm a fan of things that are done well. I'm also a fan of not falling because, as you could see, I kind of moved there. I kind of stepped on the belt as I was adjusting my feet. The East versus West jerseys are super cool. Congratulations to those guys. They really have a fine product with that stuff. In what it looks like on camera and what it looks like in marketing, it's super cool. So if I'm looking at some of these East versus West, if I go back to the card to kind of go back through the matches, first one, Devin versus Gennady. Folks, I think that's a toss-up on my end. And of course, Devin is just an amazing athlete. I think Gennady is focused. I only think that this is a toss-up because Devin has gone down in weight. Now he's coming back up in weight. I think whenever you put your body through those kind of cycles of growth and reduction, I think it starts to take a toll, especially as you get older in age. Not to say that it's going to take a bad toll on Devin. I think there's scuttlebutt out there that there's a 350-pound Devin coming at some point to try to beat Levon. But I think this match is actually kind of a really interesting match. And the reason I say that, folks, is that, people are always growing, right? I mean, when you're an athlete, there comes a point where you kind of get to your peak, right? And your steps at the peak are very, very subtle. But an athlete that's growing will eventually get to that peak. Now, maybe that peak is here, maybe that peak is there. But I think with a guy like Gennady, I think that peak is kind of leveled in my opinion. And I think that this is going to be a tougher match. Again, you step on that, you see that motion of the body, it's because I stepped on that belt. I think it's a match that's going to be a lot closer, in my opinion, than most think. Obviously, I'm a Devin fan. I think Devin's going to win, but I don't know. I mean, Gennady himself is hungry. Let's see if that's a change. You've got Vitaly Leledin versus Artem here, Morozov, and again, here's an interesting match. I mean, someone like Vitaly, who had all of his trajectory and potential going up, hit a peak somewhere. Now, whether that was life, whether that was training, whether that was a lot of things in his life to get him to where he wasn't advancing anymore. Now he seems to be advancing back up the ladder. It'll be interesting to see where his peak is. He's a tall dude. Like, he's a big guy. Like, we're not talking about a guy who's 6'4" like me. You're talking a guy who's like 6'8", 6'9", I believe. Very, very, very long lever from elbow to fingertip. Makes it very hard to arm wrestle a guy like that, especially when you're setting up. A smaller hand, is already at a point in which it's at a disadvantage. So I think that's a real interesting match for me. I like Vitaly in that, especially if we're going to go through our predictions. Oleg Petrenkov versus Bakili Onani. I think Oleg is the winner. I think he's solid in this. That's my pick. I don't have much in terms of reference to these athletes. I've watched Oleg pull before and Bakili pull before. I just think Oleg is the superior puller on the left-hand side. Obviously, the female match, Fia versus Malin. Both terrific ladies. Don't have a prediction. Flip a coin on my end. I think both of them are great athletes, great competitors. So I'm not going to predict anything there other than great matches. You've got Oleg Zok versus Daniel Prokopiuk. Excuse me if I bastardized that. I like this match for many reasons. Obviously, the Oleg, a car accident, tragedy, coming back, having that freakish Cobra-like forearm that just, it hoods out. Having that epic match back with the UAL and Bill Collins, Devin versus Oleg, when Oleg was much a younger man. I think that there's always been a level of interest to see him come back left-handed, and I'm glad he is. So he's actually pulling in the 187, 85 kilo for world title. So a small young man in terms of weight, but a big young man in terms of arm. Brad Grundy versus Bacho. You know what? I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about Brad, to be honest with you. I've watched Bacho pull before. I kind of think that this could be a coin flip, in my opinion. Many people might think that Bacho is a superior arm wrestler at this point, just because of what we'll call just maybe easily call what's the word I want to use? Experience in East versus West. Brad, I believe this is his first East versus West on the big stage traveling. So a couple of things that always kind of concern me with athletes that travel for the first time for big super matches is sleep. Brad's leaving the U.S. He's going across, the pond over to Europe. Different time zones, right? Nutrition. Going across the pond, out of his comfort zone, out of his own, his own routine of food, getting over to Turkey, or in this case, Georgia, being able to find the food that he needs, he wants, that he's expecting. Again, another hurdle that when you're a first-time athlete doing any kind of traveling, can play into those mind games. Not that Bacho is creating any mind games. You create your own mind games. Hey, what is it going to be like to sleep in a foreign bed? Is the pillow going to be stiff? Is it going to be soft? Is the bed stiff? Is the bed soft? What are the accommodations like? Is it loud to listen to? I'm used to living in the country. I'm used to living in the city. There's so many different components that go through a traveling, value when you're an athlete. So it'd be great to see what Brad and how Brad does. And I hope for the best for him. But, I think when you start to put people in their own home turf and keep the commonality of routine behind them, I think Bacho may be probably has the advantage in that match. That's all I'm saying. But certainly a great matchup. Rolling through a couple of these other matchups, I just don't have a lot of opinion on some of them, but I do like the Alex Krdeka David Davikian match. It's a weird match. Because Alex is really what I'll call a big super heavyweight, and David, to me, is a heavyweight that's probably meeting somewhere in the middle. I don't know if there's a weight cap on this one, but I don't know. I think it's a very, very interesting match. And I'm an Alex fan. Alex follows me on social media. So if you follow me on social media, I'm a fan of yours. Just saying. So good luck to both of them. Frank Lamparelli versus Serhii Kalinchenko. Don't know much about Serhii, but I know a little bit about Frank. Frank had the big win over Matt Mask. It could go either way, to be honest with you. I don't really have much of an opinion there. I'll pick Frank just because I liked how he pulled against Matt. I think he may be a little bit of an underdog on this. Could be wrong, but ultimately I think he fits well in that match. Make sure that you tune in and certainly not sponsored, but support East versus West, and obviously doing great things over there. Another great card. All right, so looking around the horn here, Sarah Backman. She is in my stories right now. Sarah and I had a great opportunity to work together this past week outside of the world of arm wrestling, but still inside the world of arm wrestling. I want to tell you a couple of things about Sarah Backman. Consummate professional. Sarah Backman, and without telling you the plot, the storyline, anything, she came into one of our productions. Very, very, very astute young actor. Came in prepared, came in very malleable, being able to be directed, being able to be coached in many ways in the scene. Did just an amazing job. And matter of fact, all the cast was extremely impressed by the manner in which she handled herself, the composure. Just a great overall experience. For me as a director and a producer outside of the world of arm wrestling, Sarah did an amazing job. Sarah and I have come to some agreements. She is going to be our host with Mikey for the July 19th. And Sarah is going to be working with us in a bigger role with World Series of Arm Wrestling here for season 4 and beyond. We're super excited. Very, very few people impress me with their demeanor in terms of how they handle themselves in the world of business, especially when they have a lot to offer and they come in as humble as someone who is just a novice in the industry. I think that's the most impressive thing between my past week experience with Sarah on set, as well as my experiences leading up to date. She has a value that is quantifiable, and she acts in a way that she's humble and appreciative on all levels of having opportunities. And that makes a big difference, especially when you're working with somebody. You want to do more with them when you have that. So look for Sarah to be a bigger part of World Series of Arm Wrestling. Look for a big Don Underwood announcement here soon. A lot of people know that Don's working with us this year, but we're going to announce his official status with us now that he's outside of his obligations. Look for that announcement over the next couple of weeks. If you're at the Super Bowl and you are rolling around New Orleans, look for our billboard. Our billboard is going to be mobile. It's going to be rotating with, I think, 7 other sponsors every 15 seconds. And that billboard truck is going to be traveling around New Orleans for Super Bowl weekend leading up to the Super Bowl. There's an opportunity to catch a picture, put yourself on the map with it. We'll send you out a free t-shirt for doing that. But certainly we're very excited to be seen in the world of the Super Bowl. That's really pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't really get very excited. Matter of fact, I may be the Bill Belichick of arm wrestling on how excited I am right now, as you can tell. No, but seriously, we are very excited, and certainly 2 great teams. I mean, think about it. You've got Kansas City Chiefs looking to three-peat, make history. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles looking to get over the hump this time. Holy cow, Saquon Barkley can run. That kid Jalen Hurts, he's a kid to me. He's not a kid, he's a man. But that young man, Jalen Hurts, what an athlete he is. 2 really quality quarterbacks, quality people on the team. I think it's going to be an amazing game. I don't know who I'm going to predict, but if history has anything to prove, and I hope that making history is that call, I kind of am rooting for Kansas City only because I'd love to see somebody win the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. But take nothing away from Philadelphia Eagles. I would love to see them win as well. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan through and through, but if I had to make a choice, I think someone breaking history is pretty cool to see in your lifetime. Lastly, if you are a content creator, a content provider, or anyone that would like to get your product on Inside Arm Wrestling, find us in the social media. Send us a note. We will get you the parameters and metadata sheets that you need. Let's get you up there. This is really an opportunity, folks, that's going to hopefully, I know the word mainstream is used a lot, but really mainstream is, to me, being able to get in front of millions of people who are atypical to our industry, and that's what we're going to do. Inside Arm Wrestling is on that platform now, Free Live Sports. Look for Sports Live. Look for our other big partner coming up, wink, wink. And hopefully by the end of the month of February, we'll have some even bigger news. So takeaways for today, it's the end of January. Fires are pretty much contained in LA. Great job this past weekend to Bill Collins and his team at the LA Fit Expo. Always a great time. I saw some videos out there. Bill is an amazing promoter and just a great human being. Great job to you out there, Bill. Look for East versus West in 2 weeks. Look for some major announcements. Get involved with affiliates from STEM Regen through us, or get involved as an affiliate through STEM Regen through us. Same with Bucked Up. Same with Bet Sparkets. Get us your content. The world of arm wrestling is growing. If you don't feel it, then you must not feel anything, because it is growing in leaps and bounds. Inside Arm Wrestling coming at you. Look for our episode again next week. We're coming at you with more episodes here as we get into the spring leading up to our World Series of Arm Wrestling Season 4. Look for us on Free Live Sports. Look for us on STEM Regen. Bucked Up as well. Folks, remember to train hard, lift safe. And you know what? Since Anthony didn't bring the cue card for me to remember, just have a great time. Life is great. Try to make the most of it, in and out every day. And we will see you at the next episode. Oh, there it is, Anthony, but I don't have my glasses on there. So, next episode, clap, snap, point. Folks, have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Folks, if you like these stories and you want to see more, please hit the like button and subscribe to our page. Also, hit the notification bell underneath the video so that way you're notified every time a new video comes out.